I bought some outdoor furniture, and somebody thinks I want to buy the exact same set 5 more times.
I know that you are award-winning, but I do want to start with the fact that GE has had some tough times lately, so why don't you tell us, give us a refresher, what happened and why are you still there? How's that for a way to kick things off on a high note?
Thank you. So, hello Toronto, it is wonderful to be here. I will quickly say, because I don't get to Toronto very often, I have this wonderful memory. I was in Toronto with an IndyCar racer, Emerson Fittipaldi, when he won his first race, and I was representing him, and it always has this warm place in my heart, so it's great to be back in Toronto. So, switching gears, GE. We've had a challenging couple years. I think a couple things happened at once, Diane. We had some secular issues, and then we had some execution issues. The power market, so important to GE, sort of fell out from under us. We had execution challenges on our own at that point. And in the past couple years, we've had 3 different CEOs. So, leadership at any company matters. At a storied company, 300,000 people, to have that kind of change is pretty dramatic for us. So that kind of sets the scene for us.
Well, and I want to point out, so it has been through multiple CEOs, and the fact that you're still here, to me, it's easy to be a CMO when somebody hands you a lot of money. It's tougher to do when you're going through this much transition. And I think if anybody doesn't know, Linda's a huge Game of Thrones fan. Very upset about the ending. No, I'm not. But basically, I think of you as master of coin and guardian of the brand and whatever else. I guess you're the keeper of innovation. So tell us a little bit about some of the decisions that you make and where are you spending your money right now?
So I love master of coin. I'm gonna keep that. But the truth of the matter is, our pile of coins is rather small. And when I think about brand, particularly when a brand goes through a challenging time, I think about the amount of brand you have stored up in the bank. And, we've had 127 years with which to build that brand. And it's not by accident. Every morning you wake up and think about, or at least I do, how do you make the brand relevant? How do you make it accessible? How do you make it interesting? And I think during challenging times, you draw on that. And I feel, listen, I don't want to in any way sugarcoat this. We as marketers have had to balance in the last couple years where to be on our back foot, where to be on our front foot. One of the things you and I have talked about this, we've never had a challenge with our technology. Our technology in health and aviation, energy, power, et cetera, remains just a wonderful competitive advantage. We've never had an issue when it comes to the people we work with. So we've leaned into that. But at the same time, to be a CMO at this time has been to focus on fewer things. A lot of it has been an internal focus. I really believe that if the people that are those that are truly keeping the lights on aren't feeling good about the brand, aren't representing the brand, how do you tell that story externally? And that's been a shift for me personally because I'm used to, the campaigns and used to activating things.
I'm from a traditional media background, and when you think about the fact that there have been, with the revelations around privacy and data usage, has it shifted your view at all of Facebook or any of the other platforms and how you use them?
Yes and no. So I love media. It's probably the thing that in some ways always keeps me fresh is where media is headed, because I think as marketers, this is about understanding our audience, but we can't get to our audience without figuring out what channels they're on, what they're paying attention to, what their behavior is. And we all know their behavior is both ubiquitous and fickle. So once upon a time, if you were me, you created a marketing plan, and in that marketing plan there was a somewhat linear series of things that you did, and you knew you could capture audience in a certain place, and you knew that perhaps you could even drive certain behavior. I think you have to throw any traditional marketing plans out the window, so to speak, and just figure out what those points of engagement and attention are. So to get specifically to your question, Facebook, yes, in the sense that it remains one of the most efficient ways for us to reach exactly who we want to reach and know a whole lot about them. At the same time, I never want to be in the business of disrupting people, of putting things in their feed that aren't welcome. So we look for
I keep getting dating ads because I didn't list my husband, for example.
There you go.
What can you do? Right.
I bought some outdoor furniture, and somebody thinks I want to buy the exact same set 5 more times. I mean, so it's not really quite perfect yet, but I do think that our ability to understand our tribe, and our tribe are people who love innovation, who love technology, who love the deep interestingness of what we do. That's our, I was saying to Diana earlier, to work at GE is to fall in love with the possibility of what you can build, of how you can impact the world. And there's something about that is inherently cool while never being cool. It's our deep interestingness. And so when we think about platforms, and trust me, we have, as I think you know, tried just about everything. We've done podcasting, we've done AR, we've done VR, we've done things in 3D experiences, etc.
So let's start with what you're proud of, but then I'd love you to talk about, if you look outside GE, since every company can now be a media company, you're a storyteller, you're creating content, what are some of the campaigns that you're proud of? And when you look externally, can you think of other campaigns, rivals or otherwise, that you think, that's cool, I wish I'd done that? So
I would put, because this isn't me, this is my wonderful team, our body of work against anybody's. I just feel like we have over-indexed when it comes to figuring out how to tell our story on platforms in ways that haven't been done before. And, that's included flying drones over our facilities and creating a 5-hour series that we did on Viceland called Drone Week. It's included working with Nat Geo and doing what I think of as for the sports fans out there, the 30 for 30, but for science. You've been doing a lot around women, so I want to get to our hashtag #MeToo part in the last few minutes. Tell me a little bit about, first of all, what are you doing at GE, and is there anything what are the biggest challenges? Yeah, so I co-lead our women's network, which is big, because everything we have is big. So, and GE itself has made some really good efforts in terms of balancing the equation, more women in technology, that kind of thing, telling the story. But I'll make it more personal, which is I've thought a lot about diversity and inclusion, and they're really two different concepts. And I think I've been guilty of thinking that I was doing all the right things by speaking to women's groups, which I do frequently inside the company, by sort of creating a community. Those are women's groups. Women's groups. There's never any men there. Yeah, well, exactly. I say women. And I think, goodbye. Yeah, and I'm proud of that. I do think people need communities. And at the same time, I've really come to believe that inclusion is inviting people with different views into the tent. So I think both sides of this are really quite important. But I think when you surround yourself with people that look just like you, even if everybody's African American or everybody's a woman or everybody's gay, are you really furthering that dialogue? So I throw that out to all of you. It's been on my mind. It's my own personal challenge of how do you think more broadly about inclusion? Well, and as a marketer, we're so hypersensitive and tribal. I live in New York, so how do you navigate that in terms of bringing it back to the marketing challenge where you've got so many people that seem just extremely sensitive? Can you even crack a joke with your commercials, or you just sort of go the middle path? It's such a great question, and it's really sad, isn't it, in many ways? So GE has always tried to use a little bit of humor. Just a little, not like guffaws, not, that sort of thing, but that little bit of a wink for us, I think gets to what I think is one of the most important things as a brand leader, and that's humanity. So when you work at a company that's big, that makes big industrial equipment and devices and, power plants, et cetera, for us, being human and showing up in a way that is inherently about people is actually one of the things that makes the difference. And part of humanity is we laugh, we cry, we're angry, we're happy. And I think to ever feel, now this is a little off of marketing, but to ever feel that one dimension, I think it's just missing out on.
Yeah. Please join me in thanking Linda Boff, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.